Hello everyone, this is Iron Mark 3 and welcome to an episode of What You Doing. I know that an episode of my FTD campaign was probably expected, but I've not managed to work myself up to doing another one of those yet. So I've just been asked what you're doing, and so I'm answering the question, as I do, with a video. I have been on From the Depths. I've just been messing around more than anything else. So I'm just going to very quickly show you what I've been working on. This one here is actually a very old design. I just had out because it's one of my original laser ships, so I wanted to have a look at it. And this is the Razorback Mark II heavy missile ship, which I took the weapons off to put onto the Locust in my actual campaign. But what I've been doing today is just really messing around with lasers and trying to see what I could do with them. So this is my current experiment. It's a very small ship, really. But in case you haven't spotted it in the bottom right, it's got an engine which does nearly 240,000 in terms of power, which is absolutely ridiculous, especially on such a small ship. And what I was doing was trying to tune that to match to a laser system, which is all this stuff on top here. This entire thing is a laser generation array. It's just producing one massive laser, basically. I was trying to match how much power the laser needed to the strength of the engine, but I think there's something going wrong because of having multiple Q switches and focuses and things like that. According to my experimental maths, the laser pumps, the quantity I've got, should be taking a hefty chunk out of the engine's power, but it's, well, it really is not. So as you can see, it's only taking about 45,000 power, when it should be taking close to about 200,000, something like that. So definitely a lot lower than I was expecting it. But I don't know, I was just slamming this vessel together out of interest. I've not done with it since I got to pop the question on me. So it's not functional really, it's just got AI whacked on top here, fire control system, just for testing the weapon system out. But if I find the laser block here for you. Where did I put that thing? I know I moved it. There it is. Yeah, 4,390 damage at 3,000 range with 62 armor penetration. So yeah, this is a very short laser block, but it is a very powerful one, especially for this size of ship. Because a laser like that, using normal practice, would be somewhere that the front of the ship would be somewhere in the resource zone over there. But I've managed to pack it all into this single dense space at the cost of confusing myself a lot and not really being sure what you can do. I just know the engine, which is underneath, is kind of, yeah, that's the engine down there, the entire 4 layers at the bottom. That is what the front of a 240,000 power engine looks like. I know it doesn't look like much, but you know, I think I'm getting good with high power engines. Lasers, not so much. Though this thing, I think it's pretty powerful as far as lasers go. Let me just spawn in some stuff to show you. I normally test against deep water guard because they have a mixture of materials, but they don't really have any real defences, so I can see the potential of the designs more than anything else. Marauder's my favourite. So yeah, the laser's just raking through it, doing a ton of damage, especially on such a small ship, really. At least as I understand it, in terms of the community, that is a small ship. Though it's also not very well defended, I'll admit that much as well. Yeah, it's just tearing it to shreds. There's the AI, dead. It's done. The Razorback could do that as well, with all its missiles. But this small ship here, this is kind of an embarrassing design, really. It's from way back when I actually started playing this game. I think I built this in the first week, and you can tell by how rough it is around the edges. It's just very blocky. It's not very powerful. It has got a basic turret on it, but I didn't even know about AIs at the time. So it's a manual control ship only. I thought about refitting it a few times, but I've not got around to it. Not when I'm toying around and slamming ships like this one together. So yeah, that's what I've been doing. But since this is just a prototype ship, it's all just wooden hull and stuff like that. If I was trying to make this a viable ship, I would actually reclad it with metal for the most part. The turret would actually have some armouring on it. And I think there's space on the back for a missile system. And this forward prow looks ideal for a gun turret of some kind. So it would become more of a little patrol craft than anything else. Though with that monstrous amount of engine power, I'd have to cut that down. So yeah, really I've just been monkeying around with the ship and trying to build it. Comparable size to that, weapon systems from that. Good mix. I did have another laser ship which I made recently, which I was referencing. So load it in quick. Where is it? Mono beam. Here we go. Yeah, that's more of a laser patrol craft, but it's now wandering. I need to stop that. I actually pulled this out before I started recording because it's self-activating. This patrol craft. If an enemy gets within range of it, its AI is automatically switched to combat mode. So, you know, there is that. But it's got a single length laser, roughly the same length as the ones found in my current little experiment. And where is it? It's up this end, isn't it? Yeah, it's up this end. Yeah, 423 damage. It does a tenth of the damage compared to the larger ship that I've just made. And they're roughly the same length. So I don't know, there is definitely something to be said for this dense packing of a laser system, even if it might not be as efficient. I do know that the energy is pretty much consistent. It hovers around the 3000 damage mark per shot when the laser is firing in constant pattern. Because I was testing that before I started putting the turret on it. And then Nathan asked the question, so I stopped to do this vid. So, you know, there is that. But yeah, that's really all I can say about what I'm doing at the moment. So, I hope you found it interesting. It's just a little look at what I've been messing around with. And I'll have to see you some other time. So, Mark 3, and thanks for watching.